Afternoon, Ruud. A good win for you in the FA Cup at the weekend, and the footballing gods have brought you back with Manchester United again. Just wonder what you made of the fourth round draw.
Yeah, I was hoping for a home game against a team in a league below us, maybe, or two. And but then the first team that got out was United, and then we were second. And that means it's going to be the third time there will be a United Leicester in three different competitions. So special, and also special to go back there. That's for sure.
There's been a lot of links with Weir Koulibaly, the Parma defender, in recent days. I know at the weekend you didn't want to say you would comment on individuals, but he didn't play for Parma yesterday. Are you any closer in being able to confirm that he will be a Leicester City player soon?
No, we cannot confirm any news on any new player so far today. So let's see how things develop.
Is the fullback area one of the key places on the pitch that you identified when you came in and throughout December as somewhere that you really did need to strengthen during this month?
No, we haven't been opening up on positions that we're looking at. I think it's not the best thing to do. We just keep that on the inside. Where are we looking and why and what is possible? So it's something, that is better to keep indoors.
Overall, are you pretty encouraged with the discussions you're having with the club about recruitment and the players that you might be able to get in between now and the deadline?
Most important thing is from the conversations in December that we've had before I signed. We're aligned with that in that process, so it's clear what is possible and what not. In that sense, we are aligned and in the process and looking to strengthen, but it has to be the right one. As I said before, it's a responsibility to get the right players in within the possibilities. So that's the main thing.
Just a question on one of your players who isn't with you at the moment, Tom Cannon, who's on loan at Stoke. Is there any agreement in place that you do have a recall option, and is that something you're looking to exercise to maybe send him elsewhere this month?
Yeah, he's definitely one on the list for us, that we keep a close eye on him, like we do with all the boys that are on loan. And Tom's situation is closely assessed, and decisions to be made on that as well.
So there is a possibility that he might not stay at Stoke for the rest of the season?
No, it's still a possibility, but we're looking at in this window at his situation and what would be best for him and of course for the club.
You rightly said at the weekend that the last three Premier League games that you've played have all been against Champions League opposition. There have been really good parts of the performance without the points. These two home games coming up this week, given your position in the league, do you really feel you have to win at least one of those two matches?
No, it's clear. After those games, we said that we want to continue the performances into the FA Cup, and I think it showed progress in different areas. Of course, before the FA Cup draw, it was of course a team in form, 8 games, and it's going to be a difficult opponent. After the game, it was only a championship team. That's how things go. But I think our performance was good, but also we addressed the individual mistakes that we have to cut out our game, and we don't get away with against Premiership opposition. They still occurred in both QPR goals. So we have to do better there, but we know where we are in the league and what is necessary to do to get out. So we're looking to be at our best in the coming games. Yeah, we need to be.
And in that sense, would you take something similar to the West Ham game, your first game in charge, where there were parts of the performance maybe you didn't like so much, but getting a positive result is almost more important against, particularly Palace?
No, every game, you rather play bad and are lucky and win then and that's the short-term points. That's what you need. But I think in the long term, you need to get better as a team and perform better and play better and to the max of the capabilities of your players. And that is what we want to show in the next 2 games. It's not that Wednesday is more important than Saturday. For us, all the remaining fixtures are so important to get points, and that's the only way that it keeps you in this league. Thank you.
Ruud, hi, nice to see you again. Queen's Park Rangers, Crystal Palace unbeaten in there, that's 5 away. So what particular challenges will they provide for you, do you think?
Of course, that's a recent away form. Well, a game of football is never the same. I look at their squad, I look at their players, I look at the qualities that they have within the team and from back to front, and that is a very good Premier League side, and we have to be aware of that. Very, very good and strong centre backs, very good wing backs, players up front that can change the game in a matter of a second, and so in that sense, it's going to be a tough one for us. But we want to compete, we want to do well, and show what we're about in our way, and it's a great challenge for Wednesday.
All coaches like to impose an identity on a team. I'm sure you'd like to impose an identity of your own on this squad, but you have to be pragmatic given the situation you're in. Is that a little bit of frustration that you're just having to cut your cloth, as they say, here at the moment?
What does that mean?
It just means you have to adapt to the situation you're in rather than maybe produce the identity of the team you would like in the long term.
I think it can go hand in hand. I think what is identity, the players are the identity. I think to get the maximum out of your players is the main job of a manager. So in that sense, I just want my team to play as well as they can, and I think those 2 things, and that's what I said when I just signed. I see that it can go hand in hand. My identity as a manager, also with the players, the profiles that we have. I think that suits, and we are building with that, and I think and believe that it goes hand in hand, and we don't have to do anything with cloths and something, and just continue what we're doing. Sorry, I don't know the saying.
You've been around the English game long enough. I thought you might be familiar with that. But
yeah, but it's one you have to write it down, Anthony. It's a new one. Thank you.
Okay,
vocabulary.
In a situation like the one you're in, though, you'll need a squad containing players that have got a certain ability to find their way out of a problem. In the weeks you've had to get to know this squad, what qualities are you seeing in them that maybe give you hope that they can find a way?
Oh, it's not a maybe. I see their characters and quality in players that are there. That is the most important thing. And I also said when I first signed, I believe that it's possible with this squad to stay in. Of course, you need some luck. Of course, losing Mats, Hermansen, and Fatawu were big blows to us, but we have to adjust and find ways. In that sense, we want to continue, and we want to show that over the last 6 weeks that we work together, that we're making the steps in the right direction to make sure that performances are turned into points within our identity that we want to be, and that is what the players are.
And finally, for me, in a wide-ranging career, I'm not sure how many times you have been in a situation like this. What qualities are you leaning on personally to try and approach it and get the right answers?
No, it's very interesting to notice that if you're trying to win a league or win a cup, you're trying to get the maximum out of yourself as an individual and as a team, and is similar in the other end of the table, because there's a lot of pressure winning a title or winning a final or playing for your country in a World Cup. Very similar actually. It doesn't change. Behaviors of every day, getting the best out of yourself as an individual and as a team, in a certain approach of how the game is played that gets the maximum out of our squad and players, it's the same. I started my first 3 seasons in the Dutch Championship. We were fighting relegation there with FC Den Bosch, and that's also me. Later, I was lucky to make it to United and Madrid, and trying to win a Premier League and a La Liga and represent these clubs in the Champions League in my country. But the principle of doing professional sports is to get the best out of yourself and do it week in, week out on a daily basis in training. So that is everywhere. Doesn't matter where you are in football or sports.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Oh, the floor is yours.
Hi Ruud, good to see you. Just wanted to check the situation with Yannick Vestergaard. Wasn't in the squad on Saturday. Will he be fit for the game on Wednesday?
He was part of team training today, so expecting that he can be there if all goes well in today, and he will be fine tomorrow. Then I expect him to be there on Wednesday with the squad.
Is there any other fresh injuries in the squad ahead of the game on Wednesday?
No news on injuries.
You've talked before about applying the right kind of pressure, the right level of pressure to your players, and that is part and parcel of the game. I wonder how key that might be for you again this week with 2 back-to-back home games and the level of game that you've already talked about.
Yeah, the pressure is fantastic on those games. It's you have to embrace it. You have to be happy that you are able to show what you've got as an individual and as a team in these moments. Those are key moments. Every game in the league for us is key moments. Every second we're in this league, we have to be ready and happy that we're there and that we're competing and that we can show who we are. Yeah, it's a fantastic challenge, these 2 home games.
The benefit you have is that they are both at home. I wonder what your message would be to the fans ahead of these 2 games and what the team would require from them to help get over the line and get the points.
Yeah, it's very important that we show what we're about and what we want and how bad we want this, and that will reflect to the stands. We've seen that before. I was at the Brentford away game when just a couple of days before I started the job here, and it was hard. You know, the connection at the time with the away fans at the time there and the team. But then there was the West Ham and Brighton game, and it changed. I felt that we were very well supported in all the games after, and the reaction is there from the crowd. But it's our responsibility to keep that going, and that's what we want to do.
Just one more on the January transfer window. You said last week that ideally, because of the magnitude of these 2 games, you'd like to get players through the door as quickly as possible. Do you feel at this stage like that could happen still, maybe not before Wednesday, but before Saturday?
It could happen, but we have to wait and see how things are going, how things are developing, and that's why the focus is completely on performing and winning. And of course, after that, you look in strengthening the team, but yeah, everything takes its time.
And just finally from me on Crystal Palace, what are the key things that you have to get right in your own game plan on Wednesday to make sure you come away with a positive result and the points that you'd like?
No, it's clear. I just described their qualities. Of course, when you look at, we have to be really good on the ball. Because of the strength they have in defense and how solid they are and how strong they are also on the break. We have to control that really well. And of course, out of possession, we know that they have players up front and on the wing backs who are very attacking and dangerous. We have to control that.